What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Raw Stocks. This is Rustic. Today we're going to be taking a look at Tesla's chart. We're going to look at where price came from, where price ended last week, and where price is likely to head into the rest of the week. But before we get started, don't forget to check out the new Raw Stocks website, www.rawstocksllc.com. We got a lot of information over there. Links to the Discord, links to the pricing plans, links to the WAP site to upgrade. So please give it a look. Check it out. Pretty excited that we launched that. We currently got the 1 month free promo going on to upgrade to the premium section to get the call outs, to get the education, to get the private chat for the premium side of the Discord. So don't forget to check that out. Also have some cool educational content that's going to be included with the brand new lifetime membership, where you'll get 4 to 6 private sessions with me with supplemental educational material to go along with that. And we're going to be learning elements of a trade setup. So still in development, but looking forward to releasing that as well. Will be a standalone product also. So a lot of things in the hopper right now as far as Raw Stocks development goes. Keep an eye out for future things. Also right now on the Discord, we're running a contest for a free Raw Stocks t-shirt. There's a little button you can click in the general chat to participate in that contest. So if you are a Raw Stocks member or you aren't and you'd like to be, go ahead and join the Discord. It's free to join. Go to the general chat, participate in the drawing. We will be drawing a winner that will be announced sometime between Monday night and Tuesday trading day, but the contest officially ends on Monday night. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts. I have a fresh chart pulled up here just so that we can start working on setting the charts up together. It's something I want to look at on Sundays. We'll try to start with like the month approach and then go down from there. So if we got our monthly chart of Tesla pulled up, couple things you can see is that we have our 20 period, our 50 period, yellow here is 200 period. So we're just kind of trapped between the 200 and the 50 right now. Nothing specific that I want to put on this chart, but I just want to notice that last week we had a inside candle, right? Fairly equal wicks after we had a nice rejection. Running a test on that 100 period moving average. Okay, we do have the 20 period, 20 month, and the 50 period, both slightly pointed down, but could definitely see us running a test on that 20 period up around 212, 213 before we potentially, or even just a run of a test of the 50 period of the monthly, right? Before we potentially make a decision, right? We already ran the test of the 100. So am I anticipating us to run a test of the 100 again? Not necessarily right away. Okay. Nothing on this chart. If you were going to put anything on this chart, what you might look at is the previous month high and low. Okay. So we could go ahead and put those on our chart if we'd like. I'm sure they'll correspond with some lower time frame levels, so not necessary to put them on the chart yet. But there's kind of the range. We're looking for a breakout or a breakdown of this range, to give us a little bit more confirmation, especially on the breakout will give us more confirmation that we're looking for price to run on this breakdown monthly candle, but if we get down to the breakdown range, that'd probably be closer to a bottom. Now let's jump to the weekly chart. Weekly chart was an inside bullish week, right? We were inside the previous week. We opened above the previous week close. We never closed above the previous week high or candle open. So nothing too big there. If you notice here, we're below all the moving averages. So not a great look on the weekly chart as far as, any confirmation that we're going to be moving higher on the weekly. But we also didn't close any lower. So it's kind of a neutral look on the week. Also, what I want to notice is that we did fill this weekly gap and the volume imbalance, right? So previous week traded down, closed the gap. Doesn't look like we closed closed gaps on daily chart because there are still some gaps here from the earnings day. But on the weekly chart, we did close the gap. So nice look there. And we have those moving averages kind of leveling out on the week. So if we could get above the 20, which is holding above 185.63 next week, then we could look to make a run on the weekly 50 period, or this is the 200 period at 196.86, then the 50 at 204, and then the 100 period at 213, right? So definitely looking for those as well. So what do we, here's where I want to start to first draw some levels out. We're going to look at we're going to look at this week's high, and then we're going to look at this week's low, and that's going to be the range that we're looking to break out of first. Okay, so 180.38 is the official on the weekly chart. 168.24 is the official low on the weekly chart. And this is going to give us a better zone, right? That monthly zone is much higher. That weekly zone is a little bit tighter. And so that's a nice look that if we can get above 180, we can push up to the next previous week's high. And we'll put that on our chart too at 187.65. So that kind of gives us some nice zones to push through, right? We're going to adjust this slightly as we zoom in here. I see that it's not quite where I want it. All right, there we go. A little bit better. You could also put the previous week, not last week's, but the previous week low to there, 167.55. It's pretty tight in there, so I wouldn't, worry too much. And then if we also look at the 50% of this break up candle, I'm going to put a level there and say we're not going lower than that next week. And I can pretty much guarantee that 154.39. If we were to start to run a test on this break up candle, the weekly candle, I would anticipate that we do come down to 154, 155, but not anticipating that right now. Just a level that we can watch if we break out of these two lower level ranges. Okay, now let's drop down into the daily chart. The daily chart is where we start to potentially see some gaps and some fair value gaps, right? So here we can look at some gaps that we got going on. There's going to be a fair value gap right there. And you can see that weekly level consequent encroachment or mean threshold inside that fair value gap. So if we were to draw into that bullish fair value gap, that's likely where we would draw into, somewhere between that gap open and that consequent encroachment of that breakup candle. Now we can also see, we'll put it in red, but we can also see there is a fair value gap that we've drawn into, right here. And we actually came up to the mean threshold of that fair value gap, and we saw a rejection there. We're drawing back into it. Would like to see that close out, maybe make a run on the higher moving averages, but currently inside of that bearish fair value gap on the daily chart. No other levels we want to look at because our high and low are already in right there. So again, if we break above 180, we could push up to the 182, and you'll see as we drop into the lower time frames, we pushed up to that 182 level, and then we couldn't get any higher from there. Drop down into the 1 hour chart. Oh, let's go back to the daily chart just one more time to take a look at something I want you guys to notice is that on the daily close on Friday, we closed above the 20 period. We closed above the 50 period, right? The 20 period is pointed up. The 50 is leveling off. And so we want to see that push up to the daily 100 period and then the daily 200 period. So important that we closed above those levels because that does give us a bullish look on the daily chart. Now let's go to the 4 hour time frame. I don't normally look at the 4 hour time frame, but what I want you guys to see on the 4 hour chart is again above all the moving averages. We got the 20, the 50, and the 100 all lined up. Now what I'm looking for to happen next week, and that we could get an early test back on that 175 But whether we do or not, what I want us to see is for these moving averages on the 4-hour chart. So this is going to take us into Monday for this to start to play out. I want to see those continue to move up. I want to see all these moving averages, or at least the 20 and 50, cross over the 200. We got a bullish fair value gap here. Maybe we drop down and retest that 200 period early or sometime into Monday. And then I want to see us spring off of there and then head for last week's high. You can see last week's high, including pre-market, came in at 181.80, which was right around that 182, right? That daily fair value gap level, right above it. So got pretty close, drew on the liquidity, but we're seeing nice displacement candles to the upside on the 4-hour chart. So that's really strong look. And again, we got those moving averages starting to point up, and they could drive us higher. RSI also above 50, also above the moving average control line. So look for that to start to push up as we make a run higher. We got NVIDIA earnings coming up. We could get some sympathy from that. So something to be considering. We also have low data, but high Fed speaking coming early in the week. They may or may not try to continue to double down on the tight financial conditions narrative. But I think that we're all seeing that some of the financial conditions are starting to loosen up, and some of the economic data is proving to be positive. So we'll just continue to watch all those things. But again, look for that move up. 4-hour chart starting to confirm it. We'll look at the 1-hour chart now. 1-hour chart is above all the moving averages, and you have all the moving averages lined up, and you have a bullish fair value gap, and you have RSI confirming above the simple moving average control line, or the moving average control line above 50. So it looks like it could make a move up. We've already come down and tested that 1-hour fair value gap, and we found a bounce. So could we potentially retest these, or just springboard off of this fair value gap and make a run at those highs early into the week? We'll definitely be watching that closely. On this chart, I think the most important thing that we have is just making sure that you have these fair value gaps. You see, we had one back here. We sprung off of it. We dropped down back into this fair value gap, right? Consolidated. And then we got another fair value gap. And then hopefully we see something similar where we're going to shoot off of this in like a multi-day move. And mostly I'm looking for us to pull back into this order block at 184. We're likely to find some rejection there, and then maybe a late week push all the way up to like 187, 188, maybe something like that. Wouldn't be off the table. So really my target this week is like 184, 185 at minimum if we continue to push up. Now, again, if we continue to push down, we're looking for like that test of this fair value gap, and that's anywhere from 172.56 down to 169.78. Potentially sell side liquidity at 169, 167 and a half. I don't think we're falling any further than that if we do start falling. But again, 1-hour chart, moving averages turned up, tells me that we're going to make a run on that 184 level. We'll also be watching gamma levels in the Discord. So again, if you're not a premium member, gamma is something, the options server data, or stock options data, is provided to premium members, so we definitely follow gamma closely. We can follow flow, dark pool orders, and other stuff like that. But gamma is one of my favorite things to use in terms of knowing what the dealers are doing when they're selling contracts. Last, we'll look at the 15-minute chart just to see if there's anything else on the 15-minute chart that didn't show us on the other charts. Okay, so as we blow this chart up, we can see that we ran a test of the order block back down in the 172.5 to 173.5 range. We get fair value gaps, right? This is on Friday. Boom, boom, boom. As we, went ripping up during the silver bullet time macro. We topped out. We dropped down. We tested the fair value gap, right? Now we have moving averages again, all lined up in the way we want to see them, with the 20, 50, 100, 200 all pointing up. Right. And as long as we don't get some big dump into pre-market, we're going to look for those moving averages to push us all the way back up to 180, 182. Ultimately, we on the 15-minute chart, we also have an order block in that 86 to 187.50. So confluence in time frames where we got order blocks between 184 and 187.5. right? So high likelihood that we're going to head up to that as we're seeing the bullish order blocks get confirmed as support levels, right? Didn't take that new high into the end of the week, but still looking good. So hopefully this has been helpful. Don't forget to smash a like, share, subscribe. Share it with your friends, please. Also, if you can leave a comment, that's really helpful. It helps the algorithm get our name out there. All right, I love to reply to comments. I love to see what people are saying about the charts. I know we got a little bit more unique type of charting than many of you guys are used to, with other analysts. So would like some feedback on whether you guys think the smart money concepts are working for Tesla, are working for us, are working for you, or maybe you're a retail trader and you like the retail indicators. We use a little bit of both here. We got the moving averages, we got the RSI, both retail indicators, we got the fair value gaps, we got the order blocks, we got the breaker blocks, we got the time macros that the smart money concepts use. So we're using a little bit of everything here. So let me know what you guys think. And let me also know what you guys think Tesla's going to do for this week. Love to hear it. Maybe my analysis is wrong and you guys see something different, and I'm definitely open to hearing what other people have to say. So please drop a comment down below. Again, don't forget to check out the links in the description. rawstocksllc.com. Just launched it last week. Would love to hear feedback on that as well. Thank you guys, and good luck on your trading this week.